Movie Review, The Martian, 2D.
The Martian was fantastic early on in the film. The action sequences were well directed, and the viewer was enthralled as the film went along. Anyone who saw the film, Castaway, would have found similarities in the protagonist's struggle for survival with limited food supplies. Some things stand out in the film as technically incorrect, such as, why is there an LED light and an electronic beeper on a 1990s Martian robotic rover if such rovers are optimized for mass, and there were no humans around for the need to hear and see cues that the rover was powered up? Inside his Martian habitat, Watney used electricity everywhere to power up video monitors and lights. If he was trying to conserve every last bit of battery life to survive for over 1 year, and using solar panels to generate electricity, why would he be wasting so much electricity?
The digital special effects were quite well done, although there was the usual issue with digital resiness, especially when we see the first Martian landscape images. However, once the viewer got used to the digital effects, the resiness became less noticeable and more acceptable.
A better ending. The film's ending was too kumbaya, sappy, and went on for too long. The credits started rolling over top of scenes that were still happening, so many people in the theater weren't sure whether it was time to exit the theater or just watch the ending parts. A perfect way to end the movie might have been using the scene where Watney sat on a park bench outside of an astronaut training center on Earth. He bent over and caressed with his hand a tiny budding plant, just as he did earlier in the film when he saw the first budding plant growing in Martian soil inside his pressurized habitat. Ending on that scene would have foretold a future where man might return to Mars, and showed Watney's recent events coming full circle. Then, cut to credits. In some ways, such an ending would have been like the feather that was seen at both the start and finish of the film Forrest Gump, symbolizing Forrest's life journey in a nice neat story arc.
Apollo 13 echoes. Many scenes in the film reminded the viewer of Apollo 13, a film that is in recent cultural memory. Both films use the line, "steely-eyed missile man," to describe an engineer. Anyone who saw Apollo 13 would have internally groaned at the lack of originality of reusing the exact same line in The Martian. Both films had crowds gathered outside of Times Square in New York and other global cities watching giant televisions showing the astronaut rescue. This crowd stuff seemed overused in The Martian.
Summary. Compared to Ridley Scott's other fine films, Alien, and Blade Runner, The Martian was not nearly as good. However, The Martian was an entertaining ride, and one worth rewatching. The survival story on Mars was an original one, and the film added to the body of science fiction films. Cutting out some of the superfluous scenes, and rewriting some others, would have made the film more compact and stylish, instead of a Hollywood-style film targeted for everyone. The film was less of a film for sci-fi fans than it was a broadly targeted space adventure with some realism thrown in. The Martian is perfectly suited for one of those YouTube fan edits. The early parts of the film could be rated 8 or 9 out of 10. If not for the ending, the film might have garnered an overall 8 out of 10, but let's say The Martian was an overall 7.